Your life right now is a reflection of your imagination. Every thought, every belief, every assumption you hold about yourself and the world around you has shaped your current reality. But I ask you, have you truly tapped into the limitless power that resides within you? Have you recognized the infinite potential that lies dormant, waiting to be awakened? Too often, we place limits on ourselves. We accept the boundaries that others have set for us, or worse, the ones we've created at our own mind. But I tell you, those limits are nothing more than illusions. They are insubstantial, as shadows, dissipating the moment you shine the light of awareness upon them. Consider for a moment the vastness of the universe, the countless stars, the immeasurable distances, the sheer wonder of existence. The sheer wonder of existence. Now, reflect on this truth. You are a part of that universe. The same forces that created galaxies and set planets in motion are at work within you. How then can you underestimate yourself? You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power, individualized and made manifest. Your imagination is not some fanciful tool for daydreaming, but the very workshop in which your reality is crafted. When you truly grasp this concept, when you internalize it and make it a living part of your consciousness, you will never again doubt your capability. Let me share with you a fundamental truth. Your outer world is a perfect reflection of your inner world. What you see around you, the circumstances of your life, your relationships, your successes and failures, all of these are projections of your beliefs and assumptions. If you find yourself in a situation that you don't desire, know that you have the power to change it. Not through external force or manipulation, but through a shift in your consciousness. Imagine for a moment that you are watching a movie in a theater. The images on the screen seem so real, so vivid. You might laugh, cry, or feel fear as you watch the story unfold. But what if I told you that you're not just the audience, but also the projectionist? That you have the power to change the film, to rewrite the script, to create an entirely new story. This is the truth of your existence. Your consciousness is the projector, and your imagination is the film. The world you see around you is nothing more than a shadow play, a reflection of your inner state. When you change your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions about yourself and the world, you change the film. And when you change the film, the projection, your reality must change as well. But how do we harness this power? How do we tap into the infinite potential that resides within us? The answer lies in understanding and applying the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume something to be true and persist in that assumption, it must become fact in your external world. It's not about wishing or hoping, but about knowing with every fiber of your being that what you desire is already yours. Think about that for a moment. Whatever you truly desire, be it wealth, love, success, health, it is already yours. It exists now in the infinite realm of possibility. Your task is not to make it happen, but to align your consciousness with its reality, to live from the end as if your desire has already been fulfilled. This might seem challenging at first. After all, we've been conditioned to believe that we must struggle and strive to achieve our goals. We've been taught that success is something that happens to us rather than something that comes from within us. But I assure you, once you begin to practice living from the end, once you start to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will see miraculous changes in your life. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack, instead of worrying about bills or debts, you would assume the feeling of already being financially free. You would walk, talk, think, and act as if you already possess great wealth. You would feel the relief, the security, the joy that comes with financial abundance. And as you persist in this assumption, as you make it a living reality in your consciousness, you will begin to see evidence of it in your external world. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is a fundamental law of consciousness. Just as a seed contains within it the pattern of the fully grown plant, your assumption contains within it the pattern of its fulfillment. Water the seed with your unwavering faith, nurture it with your persistent assumption, and it must grow into your desired reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what about action? Don't we need to do something to achieve our goal? And to this, I say, of course action is important. But understand this, inspired action flows naturally from a changed consciousness. When you truly believe in your heart that you are the person you desire to be, when you live from that state of consciousness, you will find yourself naturally taking the actions that align with that state. If you knew with absolute certainty that you were a successful business owner, wouldn't you naturally make different decisions, take different actions then if you saw yourself as struggling or unsuccessful, your actions would flow from your state of being, not the other way around. This is why it's crucial to never underestimate yourself. When you truly recognize your divine nature, when you understand that you are one with the creative power of the universe, you naturally expand your conception of what's possible. You break free from the limitations of your past experiences and societal conditioning. But remember, this is not about ego or arrogance. It's about aligning yourself with the truth of your being. It's about recognizing that the power that created the universe is not separate from you, but expresses itself through you. When you tap into this power, when you allow it to flow freely through your consciousness, you become unstoppable. Let's talk about the practice of revision. This is a powerful technique that allows you to rewrite your past and, in doing so, change your present and future. You see, your memory of past events is not fixed or unchangeable. A simple story you tell yourself, a particular arrangement of thoughts and beliefs. And just as you can change your thoughts about the present and future, you can change your thoughts about the past. At the end of each day, review the events that transpired. If there were any experiences that were less than desirable, mentally revise them. See them playing out exactly as you would have wanted them to. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the success of these revised events. Do this with feeling, with the conviction that this revised version is the truth. You might ask, how can changing my memory of an event change anything? The past is the past, isn't it? But remember, time is a construct of consciousness. The only moment that truly exists is the present moment. And in this present moment, you have the power to change your conception of the past. As you do this, you will find that your present circumstances begin to align with your revised memories. This practice of revision is not about denial or escapism. It's about consciously choosing the story you tell yourself about your life. It's about recognizing that your memories are not fixed records of events, but malleable constructs that can be reshaped to serve your growth and evolution. That as you practice revision, you'll begin to see patterns in your thinking and behavior that you may not have noticed before. You'll become more aware of the assumptions and beliefs that have been shaping your reality. And with this awareness comes the power to change. Now, let's discuss the power of persistence. Persistence is not about forcing or struggling. It's about maintaining your assumption regardless of appearances. It's about holding fast to your vision even when the external world seems to contradict it. Imagine you're learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you might wobble and fall. But if you persist, if you maintain the assumption that you can and will ride that bicycle, eventually you will succeed. The same principle applies to any area of your life. If you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, if you continue to live from that state of consciousness, your outer world must conform to your inner conviction. But persistence doesn't mean rigid, tense effort. It means a relaxed, confident knowing. It means going about your day with the calm assurance that what you desire is already yours. It means refusing to be swayed by temporary setbacks or apparent failures, knowing that these are simply part of the bridge of incidents leading to your desire's fulfillment. Think of a time when you were absolutely certain of something. Perhaps you knew without a doubt that you would ace a test or that you would get a particular job. Notice how different that feels from hoping or wishing. That's the kind of certainty, that calm knowing that you want to cultivate in relation to your desire. As you persist in your assumption, you may find that doubts and fears arise. This is natural. Your old patterns of thinking, your old beliefs about yourself and what's possible may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, don't fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your assumption. Remember, your imagination is more real than the world of appearances. What you imagine with feeling, what you assume to be true, has a power far greater than any external circumstance. So when doubts arise, when the world seems to contradict your assumption, remind yourself, this is just a shadow. My imagination is the reality. Let's talk about the role of feeling in this process. It's not enough to simply think about your desire or to affirm it verbally. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion, the sensation of your wish fulfilled. This is what gives life to your assumption, what makes it real in your consciousness. If you desire wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that wealth would bring. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the love, the companionship, the warmth of being with your perfect partner. If you desire success in your career, feel the satisfaction, the pride, the sense of accomplishment that comes with that success. As you cultivate these feelings, you're not pretending or play acting. You're tuning your consciousness to the frequency of your desire. You're aligning yourself with the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. And as you maintain this feeling, as you live from this state, you will find your outer world beginning to mirror your inner. This is why it's so important to choose your assumptions carefully. Every assumption, whether conscious or unconscious, is shaping your reality. So why not consciously choose assumptions that serve you, that align with your desires, that reflect the highest and best version of yourself? There is no limit to what you can be, do, or have. The only limits are those you accept in your own mind. And since you have the power to change your mind, to change your assumptions, you have the power to transcend any limitation. Think about the greatest achievements in human history. Every invention, every scientific breakthrough, every work of art began as an idea, as an imaginal act. Someone dared to imagine something that didn't yet exist in the physical world. They held on to that vision. They lived from the assumption of its reality. And eventually, their imagination became. You have the same power, the same creative force that has shaped the course of human history is at work within you. So I ask you, what will you do with this power? What vision will you hold for yourself and your life? What assumptions will you choose to live from? Remember, the world's not happening to you. It's responding to you. It's reflecting back to your own assumptions and beliefs. So if you don't like what you see in your world, change your assumption. Choose to see yourself as capable, as worthy, as successful. Choose to see the world as abundant, as filled with opportunities, as supporting your growth and success. As you do this, you may find that your old habits of thought try to reassert themselves. You may hear the voice of doubt, of fear, of unworthiness. When this happens, don't fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently but firmly return to a new assumption. This is a practice, a discipline. Just as an athlete trains their body, you are training your mind, your imagination. And like any form of training, it takes time and consistency. But I assure you, the results are worth every ounce of effort. Think of this assumption. Every time you choose your assumption, every time you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you are casting a vote for the person you want to be, for the life you want to live. And just as in any election, every vote counts. Every moment assuming your desire is fulfilled is bringing you closer to its manifestation. Now let's address a common misconception. Some people believe that this practice of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a form of escapism, a way of denying reality. But nothing could be further from the truth. This practice is not about denying your current circumstances, but about recognizing a deeper reality, the reality of your own infinite potential. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're not running away from your current situation. You're expanding your consciousness to include a greater possibility. You're tuning into a frequency of reality that already exists, even if it's not yet visible in your physical experience. Think of it like tuning a radio. Just because you can't hear a particular station doesn't mean it's not broadcasting. It simply means you're not tuned to its frequency. In the same way, the reality where your desire is fulfilled is already broadcasting. Your job is to tune your consciousness to its frequency by assuming the feeling of its fulfillment. As you do this, you'll find that your actions naturally align with your assumption. You'll begin to notice opportunities that you might have overlooked before. You'll find yourself making decisions and taking actions that support the fulfillment of your desire. This is not forced or contrived. It's the natural result of living from a new state of consciousness. Let's explore the concept of self-talk and its impact on your reality. The conversations you have with yourself, the way you describe yourself and your experiences, are powerful shapers of your consciousness. Every time you say I am, whether out loud or in your mind, you're making a declaration to the universe. You're setting in motion a creative process that will manifest in your experience. So I ask you, what are you saying to yourself? What I am statements are you making? Are you saying, I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky? Or are you saying, I am energized, I am abundant, I am blessed? Remember, these statements are not mere descriptions of your current state. They are creative forces, seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And like all seeds, they will grow and bear fruit according to their. So choose your words carefully. By speak to yourself with love, with encouragement, with faith in your own potential. Even if your current circumstances don't yet reflect your desire, speak as though they do. Say, I am successful, I am healthy, I am loved. Feel the truth of these statements in your heart. Knowing that as you assume these states in your consciousness, they must manifest in your experience, this practice of conscious self-talk is not about denying your current experiences or emotions. If you're feeling sad or frustrated, It's important to acknowledge those feelings. But don't stop there. Once you've acknowledged how you feel, make a conscious choice to shift your state. Use your self-talk to guide your consciousness towards the state you desire to experience. For example, if you're feeling anxious about an upcoming presentation, you might say to yourself, I acknowledge that I'm feeling nervous, but I choose to focus on my confidence and capability. I am well prepared. I am articulate. I am engaging. My presentation is As you practice this, you'll find that your self-talk becomes a powerful tool for shaping your reality. You'll become more aware of the thoughts and beliefs that have been running on autopilot in your mind, and you'll gain the ability to consciously choose the thoughts and beliefs that serve your highest good. Now, let's discuss the importance of gratitude in this process of conscious creation. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion or a social nicety, it's a powerful creative force. When you feel grateful, you're aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You're declaring to the universe that you have enough, that you're enough. But just be grateful for what you already have in your physical experience. Be grateful for what you desire as if it's already yours. Feel the gratitude for your fulfilled wish, for your realized. This is not about pretending or fooling yourself. It's about recognizing that in the realm of imagination, in the realm of pure potential, your desire is already fulfilled. When you combine gratitude with your assumption of the wish fulfilled, you create a powerful resonance in your consciousness. You're not just passively waiting for your desire to manifest. You're actively co-creating with the universe. You're aligning your entire being, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy with the reality of your fulfilled desire. Practice this gratitude not just in formal meditation or visualization sessions, but throughout your day. As you go about your daily activities, pause regularly to feel grateful for your fulfilled desire. Feel grateful for the abundance that's flowing into your life, for the love that surrounds you, for the success that's unfolding in your experience. As you do this, you may find that your perception of your current circumstances begins to shift. You'll start to notice more things to be grateful for in your present experience. This is not just positive thinking. It's a recalibration of your consciousness. You're training yourself to tune into the frequency of abundance and fulfillment. Remember, the universe doesn't distinguish between what you're grateful for in your physical experience or you're grateful for in your imagination. To the creative forces of the universe, it's all the same. Your feeling of gratitude, whether for something you can see and touch or for something you're experiencing in your imagination, is a powerful attractor. It draws more experiences that match that feeling into your life. Let's now explore the concept of detachment. This might seem contradictory at first. After all, if you're assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you're living from the state of your desire realized, how can you also be detached? But understand, detachment doesn't mean not caring about your desire. It means releasing your attachment to how and when your desire will manifest. When you're truly living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you don't need to worry about the how or the when. You know that your desire is already yours in consciousness and that the outer world must conform to this inner reality. Your job is not to make it happen, but to maintain the consciousness of it already being done. This detachment allows you to release anxiety, doubt, and impatience. It frees you from the need to constantly check for evidence of your desire's manifestation. Instead, you can relax into the knowing that what is yours in consciousness must become yours in experience. Think of it like planting a seed. Once you've planted the seed and watered it, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. In the same way, once you've planted the seed of your desire in your consciousness through your assumption and feeling, you can trust in the natural process of manifestation. This doesn't mean you become passive or inactive, but your actions come from a place of inspired guidance rather than anxious striving. You take action not to make your desire happen, but because it feels natural and right from the state of your wish fulfilled. Now, let's address the topic of patience in this process. Patience is not about waiting for something. It's about maintaining your assumption regardless of appearances, knowing that the seed you've planted in your consciousness is growing, even if you can't yet see the evidence in your outer world. Remember, there's often a time lag between your change in consciousness and its manifestation in your physical reality. This is what Neville called the pruning period. During this time, it might seem like nothing is happening or even that things are getting worse. But understand this. This is often a sign that your old reality is falling away to make room. During this pruning period, it's crucial to maintain your assumption Don't be swayed by appearances. Don't let doubt or impatience cause you to uproot the seed you've planted. Keep watering it with your faith, your feeling, your knowing that what you've imagined must come to pass. Patience is not passive waiting. It's an active, powerful state of consciousness. It's standing firm, your knowing, even when the world seems to contradict it. It's continuing to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, even when you can't yet see the evidence of it in your outer world. As you cultivate this patience, you'll find that it brings a deep sense of peace and confidence. You're no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You're no longer anxiously waiting for something to happen. You're living from the state of it already being done and allowing the outer world to catch up to your inner knowing. Let's now discuss the power of your self-concept. Your self-concept is the collection of beliefs and assumptions you hold about yourself. It's your idea of who you are, what you're capable of, what you deserve, and it's one of the most powerful factors shaping your reality. How can you experience something that contradicts your fundamental beliefs about yourself? If you believe deep down that you're unworthy of love, how can you manifest a loving relationship? If you believe you're not smart enough to succeed, how can you manifest career success? This is why it's crucial to examine and, if necessary, revise your self-concept. Look at the beliefs you hold about yourself. Are they serving you? Are they aligned with the life you want to create? If not, it's time to change them. Remember, your self-concept is not fixed or immutable. It's a collection of assumptions, and like all assumptions, it can be changed. You have the power to choose how you see yourself, to decide what you believe about your capabilities and your worth. Start by identifying any limiting belief you hold about yourself. These might be beliefs like I'm not good enough, I don't deserve success, I always fail at relationships. Once you've identified these beliefs, consciously choose to replace them with empowering ones. For example, if you've been holding the belief, I'm not smart enough to succeed in my career, you might choose to replace it with I am intelligent and capable. I have unique talents that contribute to my success. Feel the truth of this new belief. Lie from it. Let it shape your actions and decisions. As you work on revising your self-concept, you might encounter resistance. Or beliefs can be deeply ingrained, and part of you might resist change, even if it's positive. When you encounter this resistance, don't fight against it. Simply observe it, acknowledge it, and then gently but firmly return to your new, empowering belief. Remember, you're not trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. You're recognizing a deeper truth about yourself, the truth of your infinite potential, your divine nature. You're aligning your self-concept with this deeper truth. As you do this work on your self-concept, you'll find that it becomes easier to assume the state of your wish fulfilled. After all, if you believe you're worthy of love, it's much easier to assume the feeling of being in a loving relationship. If you believe you're capable of success, it's much easier to assume the feeling of being successful. Let's now explore the concept of living in the end. This is a fundamental principle in the art of conscious creation. Living in the end means mentally occupying the state of your wish fulfilled. It means thinking, feeling, and acting from the perspective of already being the person you want to be, already having what you desire. This is not about pretending or play acting. It's about shifting your consciousness to align with the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. It's about making that state so real in your imagination that it becomes more vivid, more alive than your current. When you live in the end, you're not trying to make something happen. You're recognizing that it's already done in the realm of infinite possibilities, and you're aligning your consciousness with that reality. You're tuning into the frequency where your desire is already fulfilled. This practice requires a suspension of disbelief. You have to be willing to set aside your current circumstances and fully immerse yourself in the reality of your wish fulfilled. This can feel challenging at first, especially if your current circumstances seem to contradict your desire. But remember, your imagination is more real, more powerful than any external circumstance. As you practice living in the end, you might find it helpful to create a mental scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. This scene should be short, simple, and imply that your desire has already been realized. For example, if your desire is for a successful career, your scene might be a colleague congratulating you on your recent promotion. Our key is to make this scene as vivid and real as possible in your imagination. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. Make it so real that when you open your eyes, your imaginal experience feels more real than your physical surroundings. Practice entering this scene regularly, especially before sleep and upon waking. These are times when your subconscious mind is most receptive. As you fall asleep, carry the feeling of your wish fulfilled into your sleep. As you wake up, let your first thoughts be of your desire already realized. As you consistently practice living in the end, you'll find that it becomes easier and more natural. You'll start to notice changes in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You'll find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your desired reality. This is not forced or contrived. It's the natural result of a shift in consciousness. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you consistently occupy the state of your wish fulfilled in your imagination, your outer world must conform to this inner reality. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It's a fundamental law of consciousness. Now, let's address the topic of action in this process of conscious creation. Some people mistakenly believe that this practice of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled means becoming passive, just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. But this is not the case at all. Action is a crucial part of the manifestation process. But it's important to understand that not all action is created equal. There's a big difference between inspired action that flows naturally from your assumed state and forced action that comes from a place of lack or desperation. When you're truly living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you'll find that inspired action comes naturally. You'll feel guided to take certain steps, to seize certain opportunities. These actions don't feel like hard work or struggle. They'll feel natural, even inevitable, given who you now know yourself to be. This inspired action is effortless because it's in alignment with your assumed state. You're not taking action to make something happen. You're taking action because it's the natural expression of who you now are. For example, if you're assuming the state of being a successful business owner, you might find yourself naturally networking more, coming up with innovative ideas, or making bold business decisions. These actions flow naturally from your assumed state. They're not forced or contrived. On the other hand, action that comes from a place of lack or desperation often leads to struggle and frustration. If you're taking action because you're afraid your desire won't manifest or because you're trying to force it into being, you're actually affirming the absence of your desire. You're operating from the state of not having, rather than the state of already possessing. So how do you know if your action is inspired or forced? Pay attention to how it feels. Inspired action feels good, it feels natural and exciting. Even if it involves stepping out of your comfort zone, it feels right. Forced action, on the other hand, feels heavy and stressful. It comes from a place of anxiety or desperation. As you practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you'll find that inspired action becomes more and more natural. You'll start to trust your intuition, to follow your excitement, to act on opportunities that align with your assumed state. Remember, your job is not to make your desire happen through sheer force of will. When your job is to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, to live from that state, and to follow the inspired action that naturally arises from that state. Let's now explore the role of faith in this process. Faith is not about believing in something despite evidence to the contrary. True faith is a knowing, a certainty that transcends physical evidence. It's the ability to see and feel the reality of your desire, even when your physical senses tell you otherwise. This kind of faith is not blind or irrational. It's based on your understanding of the creative power of your consciousness. When you truly grasp that your imagination is creating reality, that your assumptions are shaping your experience, you naturally develop faith. Cultivating this faith is crucial, especially during the time between your change in consciousness and its manifestation in your physical reality. This is when your faith will be tested. The world around you might not yet reflect your new assumption. This is when you must stand firm in your knowing, in your faith that what you've imagined must come to pass. Remember, faith is not something you have or don't have. It's something you practice. Every time you choose to maintain your assumption, despite contradictory circumstances, you're strengthening your faith. Every time you choose to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, even when you can't yet see the evidence, you're building your faith muscle. As you strengthen your faith, you'll find that it becomes easier to maintain your assumption. You'll be less swayed by appearances, less shaken by temporary setbacks. You'll develop an unshakable knowing that what you've imagined must manifest. But your desire doesn't manifest immediately. What if you've been assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, living from the end, taking inspired action, and still you don't see the results you want? First, understand that there's often a time lag between your change in consciousness and its manifestation in your physical reality. This doesn't mean it's not working. It simply means that the bridge of incidents leading to your desires fulfillment is still under construction during this time. That's crucial to maintain your assumption. Don't let doubt or impatience cause you to abandon your practice. Remember, the seed you've planted in your consciousness is growing, even if you can't yet see it breaking through the soil. If you find yourself getting discouraged, remind yourself of past manifestations. Think of times when you've successfully created something in your life through the power of your imagination. Let these past successes strengthen your faith in the process. Also consider that your desire might be manifesting in ways you haven't recognized. Sometimes we're so focused on how we think our desire should manifest that we miss the signs of its actual manifestation. Stay open to possibilities. Your desire might come in a form you didn't expect, but that's even better than what you imagined. Remember, the universe often exceeds our specific request to give us what we truly desire. Trust in this process. Trust that what's unfolding is for your highest good, even if it doesn't look exactly like what you initially imagined. As we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Never underestimate yourself. You are far more powerful than you realize. The creative force that shapes universes is not separate from you. It expresses itself through you. Your imagination, your consciousness, is the workshop in which your reality is crafted. Every great achievement in human history began as a thought, as an imaginal act. Someone dared to imagine something that didn't yet exist in the physical world. They held on to that vision, they lived from the assumption of its reality, and eventually, their imagination became fact. You have this same power. The same creative force that has shaped the course of human history is at work within you. So I ask you again, what will you do with this power? What vision will you hold for yourself and your life? What assumptions will you choose to live from? Remember, you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. Every thought, every assumption, every imaginal act is shaping your experience. So choose wisely. Choose thoughts that empower you, assumptions that serve you, imaginal acts that align with your deepest desires. Don't let anyone tell you what's possible or impossible for you. Don't let past experiences or current circumstances limit your vision. You have the power to transcend any limitation, to create any reality you can imagine and feel as real. As you go forward from here, carry with you this knowing you are a divine being expressing the infinite creative power of the universe. You have the ability to shape your reality through the power of your imagination. Never ever underestimate this power. Never underestimate yourself. Live boldly from this knowing. Assume great things for yourself. Imagine wonderful experiences. Feel the joy, the excitement, the fulfillment of your desires realized, and know with unshakable faith that what you imagine and feel is real must become your reality. You are the author of your life story. Write a magnificent one. Create a life that thrills you, that fulfills you, that allows you to express the fullness of who you truly are. The power is within you. The time is now. Never underestimate yourself, for you are truly unlimited